Welcome back, everybody. Derek Sue, your East Oakland advocate. This is part 2 of adverse possession. And I want to do this one specifically because a lot of you have seen a video that I released not that long ago, because this one was held unlisted, and I unlisted it for the first time. And so a lot of you thought I was being arrested for something that I did just in the current time. But actually, that was filmed back in my protest in April of 2021. And the protest was called Where Do We Go, Oakland? And it took place in the Oakland Hills at the top of 64th Avenue in a big lot. It's a nearly 20-acre lot that is essentially deemed unbuildable. And how I knew about this one, I literally grew up 4 homes away from that lot. I used to play on that lot when I was a kid, and we used to slide down from the upper hill on pieces of cardboard and hoping to not go over the edge, because if you went over the edge, it was a 30-foot drop back in the day. And so you could get pretty banged up in that tumble, and it was a sheer cliff. And it was a problem. That hillside was a big problem for the city of Oakland, Alameda County, because every year when it rained really hard, it was like a river that washed through there, and the landslide actually closed down the street, 64th Avenue and Buenaventura. It closed it down for 2 days because so much came down, and it was raining so hard. And so it was an issue. And so anyway, what ended up happening, I used that site for a reason, and for that protest, to bring attention to the need of affordable property. And these, I knew about the property. I had already been down to Alameda County Recorder's Office, gathered all the information, so I knew approximately how many people were there. And I knew, some of the property owners were local, well, not in Oakland, but within a 1-hour drive. And then there were some that literally didn't live in this country. And so I needed to bring them all together so that I could help them with a suggestion, because they were in a really bad situation on this property. And that was why I highlighted it during my protest of Where Do We Go back in April of 2021. I was in the East Bay Times and also in the Oakland side. I wanted to have more exposure, but unfortunately the TV media didn't deem it important enough. So anyway, I literally, within hours, I had a visit from Oakland Police Department, and I was made aware that I am trespassing and that the owner is en route to say that I need to be removed. And so anyway, I told the officers, that's fine, sounds good to me. I know my rights. Said I've been down this road many a times, and I handed him my Oakland mayoral card, and then things changed. It's like, oh, you are protesting. And so this is my First Amendment right. And but what the property owners were afraid of is that I'm trying to take their property through adverse possession. And so that's why this is part 2. This was not about taking their property, but bringing them together and proposing a solution that would resolve their issue. Because here's where things get really ugly, because a lot of people, price of homes is so expensive, but then Alameda County, City of Oakland, auctioned off this property. They divided up the parcels. There were approximately 16 parcels, and sold off for approximately $75,000 a parcel. And that is a bargain for raw land. And so you had a lot of people step up. The requirement was that you pay cash. All sales are final, and they said you need to do your due diligence on the property before you put your money down, because all sales are final. And so anyway, obviously nobody did. And they just saw a great deal on property here in Oakland, and had an incredible view of San Francisco, Burlingame, and the peninsula up in those hills. Because like I said, I lived only 4 homes away, so I know the area. And those that weren't the property owners, they didn't know who I was. But once the neighbors started talking to me, they came out, started telling me about the property and that there used to be homes there, which I knew was false because I'd been there since 1966. And then there were folks, I said, I'm in the 4th home up on Buenaventura, right at the corner. And they said, oh, that's Leon and Catherine. I said, yeah, I'm their son, Derek. And then it's like, yeah, wow, that's you here? What's up with this? I said, I'm bringing attention to the crooked Alameda County and crooked City of Oakland for not releasing the information that the site that they were about to plop $75,000 down on is not buildable. Nobody told them that. And so how all of these homeowners, or how these property owners found out that they couldn't build their dream home was when they submitted their architectural plans for a permit. And then when the building department looks up the parcel number, said, oh, you can't build that. That's an unbuildable site. Yeah, that's what happened to all of these owners. They fully expected to build their dream home on this piece of property. It was the only large-scale piece of property in Oakland, and with a view. I mean, an incredible view. So a lot of people jumped on that. But then here's what happened. Now that they've acquired the property, and the property is deemed unbuildable, they're now stuck because they can't sell it either. And the county and the city isn't going to give them a refund. And all of those owners had all sorts of lawyers like you wouldn't believe. And they're all fighting, but they're not together on anything. And so I was trying to bring everybody together and then create a good solution that would be beneficial not only for them, but also the community. And that was, since nobody could inhabit the site, but we could build over the top of the site, and also put pillars into the ground to stabilize the unstable hillside. And once we've stabilized that, we can create a community wind farm and solar farm. And this could benefit a lot of people, because there's a tremendous amount of energy that can be created through that. While it's uninhabitable, it is uninhabited. Just that we have equipment on there, and it's benefiting the community, and also creating a profit for those property owners, around the clock profit maker, because there's wind that has non-moving parts. We have non-moving parts so that birds aren't endangered, and it's quiet. It's very It's silent, but yet it makes electricity day and night. So it's not dependent upon the solar, but yet we have the solar panels also to help create community storage or community electricity that goes into a storage site right there, and it benefits the community and creates a profit for the property owners, alleviates them of Prop W, that really sneaky, dirty tax that was snuck in on them, and there was a lot of controversy. I actually spoke out against Prop W at Oakland meeting. It was introduced to our homeless advocacy working group with the city also present, and I objected to that because I knew the harm that it was going to be. Because I knew that while there were a lot of properties that were empty, there were also properties where these folks cannot get out of their situation, and to assess them $6,000 to $8,000 penalty every year was unfair, because not only did the county rip them off, they're being ripped off again annually for that mistake, and that's absolutely wrong. So anyway, I was suggesting and hoping that that community right there, because I talked to the neighborhood watch captain, told him what was truly up, that this was all about publicity for my mayoral campaign, and I was running for Oakland mayor. So I was also hoping to meet a lot of my former neighbors that I grew up with right there in the neighborhood, and a lot of them remembered my name. They remembered me as a small child, but then I disappeared. But my mother and father were still in the neighborhood. I came and went up here. I didn't make it up here as much as I wanted to, because I didn't like the area, because it at the time it was a very dangerous area, and I was surprised my parents had not been killed already, because they were easy targets. But that's why I had protective dogs at the home there for them. So, but anyway, it was a publicity stunt. And then a lot of you have asked, did you get arrested? No, I did not get arrested. I was cited, and the citation was for $100. I fought it in court, and I actually had it dismissed because I got with my lawyer, and the lawyer presented to the court that this was only a publicity stunt. It wasn't about taking anybody's property or anything. And then I had a lot of these videos, YouTube, showing me as an advocate here in Oakland and what I was doing. And the judge even saw those unlisted videos, because I made them available to the judge, because those videos actually were included in the documentary that we're still finishing up. We're doing some wrap up here in April, because now April will be much better. And then also I'm going to be looking at more housing. I'm looking to buy a home here in Oakland. So we're hoping to see what moves forward as home listings become more plentiful, and see what's available, and also look at pricing. So we're going to do a lot here in the near future. But thank you for all of your concerns. I was not arrested. I was cited. It was a $100 citation that was dismissed by the judge, because he said, okay, you proved to me beyond a reasonable doubt that you had no intentions of taking the property or stealing. And in fact, I had the actual parcel owner testify in favor of me, He said, I don't want to press charges. He was doing good for the community. He was trying to also help me get out of a bad situation. And so judge took all of that into account. He said, okay, fine, we'll dismiss everything. And so that's where it was left. So nobody got arrested. Citation was dismissed. And everything was put to rest. So that's what happened. But those were videos that were from my Where Do We Go Oakland protest back in April 2021. And that's what happened. And I was pointing out how adverse possession can be also for good. And that was for good. We'll be moving on to part 3. We'll be right back.